Asu asu.
Oh, asu asu.
Hamas Thursday released video it says shows rockets being fired from Gaza towards Tel Aviv and other Israeli cities. The Israeli army also released video showing the aerial targeting and destruction of a rocket launcher and a tunnel in northern Gaza. The Israelis have launched hundreds of attacks on Hamas targets. Palestinian casualties, including women and children, are mounting. No Israelis have been seriously injured. Israel says Hamas must cease the rocket fire from Gaza for Israel to consider a truce. Mark Regev is spokesman for the Israeli Prime Minister.
We tried to de-escalate. Messages were sent. We told Hamas to stop this rocket fire, but they continued. And now we are acting. The Israeli Defense Forces are acting to bring about a situation where the people of Israel no longer have to live in fear.
The escalation in violence was sparked by the abductions and killings of 3 Israeli students and a Palestinian teenager. Palestinian leaders say there is also growing frustration with Israel's ongoing occupation of Palestinian areas and the lack of progress towards a political settlement. Man Arikat is the Palestine Liberation Organization's chief representative to the United States.
This is a government that does not have a political agenda. It does not have a peace agenda with the Palestinian people, and each member of the coalition there is competing against the other. They're trying to outbid and outstage each other for domestic agendas, and the Palestinians are paying the price.
President Obama has urged restraint on both sides, but analyst Steve McInerney with the Project on Middle East Democracy says the United States can do little to end this conflict.
Of course, the United States has a strong relationship with Israel, but the lack of relationship or influence on the other side is extremely limiting, and I think the influence that the United States could have to bring about sort of a ceasefire is not, not very likely.
Neither side is showing any sign of halting their heaviest fighting since an 8-day battle in late 2012. But Israel has stopped short of a ground invasion that could lead to greater casualties on both sides. Brian Patton, VOA News, Washington.
Flying over Miran Shah, North Waziristan, a sprawling city now largely empty. The army is in control following weeks of fighting. At a briefing for journalists, Major General Zafarullah Khan details the city's importance to the Taliban, Al-Qaeda and other militant groups.
Before Operation Zarb-e-Azb was launched, it was no doubt the epicenter of terrorism. It was the nerve center, logistics and communication base for all terrorist groups and their activities. There was a presence of large number of local and foreign terrorists. It was a safe haven for other criminal elements also, of all creeds and colors.
The army announced this operation months in advance. Many of the militants may have escaped along with some 800,000 residents who are now living in temporary camps. Left behind are bomb factories, improvised jails and weapons caches. A Pakistani commander explained what we saw.
So this is a residential area?
This is a residential area. Basically, this is Drapakan Sarai. And Drapakan Sarai is sort of a notorious area, even for the locals of Miran Shah. And kind of an area where most of the people living here belong to any of the groups functioning.
Was there any danger of IEDs in this area?
Extremely dangerous. In every second compound or every compound we have found the signs of IEDs or the fixed IEDs.
And how difficult it is for your troops to really clear these mines that are...
So we have been training since last many years for it, because this is the kind of a threat which we are presently facing in Thai army. And then we have some special units for it, search and evaluation, which helps us for the identification and diffusing of these IDs. The handcuffs, the uniform of the prisoners, and the face mask. And this is a compound in which we have 3 cells. You can see 3 cells. And this compound may be used by these people to hold the prisoners for a longer period.
Colonel Wajahat says the offensive has deprived militants of their major source of bombs in Miran Shah, curbing their ability to launch attacks.
This we can easily call it a ID factory, large shell, large sort of a shed in which you can see the cylinders in abundance. And their numbers are crossing over 700. Half of them are filled and half of them are ready to be filled. Other than this, we have found some literature over here in which the techniques and the methods through which they were filling the IDs. And basically these are the vehicle-borne IDs, most of them.
Ayaz Gul for VOA News, Miran Shah.